SSRIs, how do they work? Let's start there.
Yeah, so they block serotonin reuptake. So basically, neurotransmitters are sending signals between neurons. They keep more serotonin in the synapse, which is that area between them. Okay. So what the key thing is to make serotonin, you need L-tryptophan, an amino acid. You need B6, you need folate, you need B12. To break it down, you need methylation, which is done via those nutrients mentioned, SAMe also. So SSRIs, they actually increase demand on these pathways. It's not kind of a cheat. They actually increase the demand on these pathways.
Okay, so you have to have more of all of these different vitamins and minerals to give your body what it needs in order to really take advantage of this.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, 30 to 50% of people do not get full remission. There's obviously a lot of reasons for that. And there's a lot of, work that needs to be done to get remission from anxiety and depression. But we're dealing with a significant amount of people that are on a medication and not getting the relief that they're hoping for. So is this the complete answer? Of course not. Is this potentially, if you fall into that category, if this maybe fits you, that it's kind of not helping a lot, or I'm having some side effects even to maybe mitigate some of those? That's the point of this.
All right, so this is critical stuff. So let's get specific. What are, you said the breakdown is methylation?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
And that's a key thing too, because we hear methylation and it sounds like it's this
just crazy word.
Exactly. And the reality is it's folate and B12, allowing you to methylate and process these neurotransmitters. So big fancy word. It's definitely become a buzzword. It's really folate and B12. All right. They're required to make serotonin as well as dopamine and norepinephrine. And that is important, and we'll get there. There was a study in the Journal of Clinical Psychiatry in 2009 that showed low folate levels led to poor SSRI response.
Makes sense.
Okay, there was one done in 2003, and SSRIs are linked to lower folate and lower B12.
Wow.
Is it chicken or egg? We don't know. This is, again, not to be the complete picture, but there's a major link, okay? In 2012, the same journal found that adding methylated folate, so again, this is not just folic acid, L-methylfolate, 15 milligrams, doubled response rates in patients on SSRIs who were not SSRI-resistant depression.
So people who were not getting the relief they were looking for.
Correct.
That 30 or 50% group that you were talking about.
Yes, and another key thing, and that's why I mentioned that folate and B12 are also needed to make dopamine and norepinephrine, because those are responsible potentially, if there is a depletion of these nutrients, the folate and B12, for some of the flat mood, fatigue, and that emotional numbness.
Got it.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So that's the methylation end. Tell me about, you mentioned CoQ10.
Yes, CoQ10 as well. And that's really involved with the mitochondria.
Yep.
Okay. So SSRIs have been shown in the Journal of Neurotoxicology in 2012 to inhibit the mitochondrial complex, make it function not as efficiently. Okay. So CoQ10 fills a role there in terms of the low energy, the motivation, the can't get going type of side effects that you see.
Got it.
And they found in 2013, a study showed that CoQ10 improved depressive symptoms.
Great.
And that's in patients with SSRI that are on SSRIs already. So again, is it chicken or egg? We're not quite sure, but we're seeing a link, and we're seeing it, using nutrients that are pretty basic, pretty commonly used, have other benefits and no side effect, and very limited to no side effects.
Sure. Okay. Well, let's keep rolling. What are some of these others that are useful in this whole string? Yes.
So this is critical as well to your overall well-being. Again, when we're talking about anxiety and depression, there's so many factors that are going into this. So sleep is also a big one to your overall mood and well-being, especially when maybe you're having the side effects of low energy, fatigue, etc. So serotonin needs to convert into melatonin for you to have melatonin and to help your sleep-wake cycle. Okay. SSRIs by their mechanism of inhibiting that reuptake, disrupt this conversion.
Oh, wow.
So there's actually, lower levels of melatonin, insomnia, circadian disruption. You're waking up at odd times, etc. That's all. There's also been found to a link in that way with sexual dysfunction.
Yeah.
I don't quite get the mechanism, but they did a study that showed melatonin reduced SSRI associated sexual side effects. So it could just be the overall well-being.
Yeah.
But again, we've seen that.
Well, and depression or anxiety or whatever, if you're not sleeping well, things aren't going to improve.
Yes.
It's so critical for everything. Okay. What else?
So we also have omega-3s.
Okay.
So a lot of, and I think what's interesting about
Makes
this
sense.
too is, it may not just be one supplement or one nutrient, or maybe it's not methylation, but there's multiple things that can kind of come into play. So omegas, we've had, there's some studies that are conflicting, that you'll say maybe this one study showed that omega-3s help with depression. Some studies say that it doesn't. And so when you see things like this, you can see, hey, there's some, potential deficiencies here, maybe with a diet, or with methylation pathways, et cetera. And so maybe one is going to help, one's going to work. So omegas are needed for the health of the serotonin receptor itself. Low omega-3s, this has been documented in many studies, have a higher depression risk. What's controversial is how much adding in omega-3s can move the needle on that, but there's definitely an association.
Well, it seems like one of those things that we know that most people aren't getting enough omegas anyway, just because we don't eat a lot of fish.
Correct.
So everything I've seen has said you need more omegas just across the board.
I think this is important too, because in 2010, they did a study, again, the Journal of Clinical Psychiatry, studied SSRIs and their outcomes alone, and SSRIs with EPA. One of the key components, it's always EPA and DHA would tell you about your omegas.
Yep.
They reduced relapse rates.
Wow.
So that patients stayed with a better feeling of well-being.
That's fantastic. So like you said, chicken or egg is kind of beside the point. It looks like folks with SSRIs often have substantial, significant vitamin and mineral deficiencies, and without sufficient amounts of those things, none of this stuff is going to work properly. You're going to be just dysregulated all the way down.
Correct.
Makes sense.
And I think, again, it's back to the key thing. We went over multiple things. To me, the key point here is still methylation.
Okay.
And that comes back to methylated folate in significant doses. Again, the one study was 15 milligrams. That's kind of the max that we see. As well as, you'll see supplements, whether it's like a daily essentials like ours that has a focus on Bs, or just a general B vitamin, a coenzyme B. You'll see a good one. You'll see a methylated folate. You'll see the methylated B12 to really help get the effect. Because with a lot of people, not everybody has the inability to methylate folic acid.
Sure.
So again, you could look at a study and there are people that makes no difference because they methylate basic folic acid just fine. But for that subset of people who do not, that's where the methylated form is key.
And it's hard to know whether you're one of those folks until you start trying.
And without, getting a genetic test. And it is doable and not all that expensive, but there's
just get the better supplement. Just get the better supplement. Don't waste your time.